I was in there laid up and everybody, the show still went on. Life still happened. That time I can't get back. You know what I'm saying? So now that's very important to me. At one point I was running low on money and I was like, yo, I can't come here 3 to 4 times a week. I have to like work. And they were just like, if you want to dance, you sleep on somebody's couch. Maybe I'm not trying hard enough. Maybe I don't want it hard enough. So I kept going for a little while, but I was like, yo, I can't be homeless out here.
I know you've had to take some chances, take some risks. Kind of walk me through what that journey has been like for you. Welcome to another episode of the Disciplined Man podcast, where we talk about discipline, mindset, and the profound impact they have on manhood. We know manhood doesn't look the same for everyone, and real strength lies in authenticity and personal truth. So join us for another incredible conversation about how real men think, how we feel, and how we navigate the complexities of modern masculinity. Now, I've been excited about some guests, but I'm especially excited about this particular guest because we actually went to college together. But beyond that, today's guest is just such an incredible person, incredible personality, a man of many talents. We're talking about dancing to acting to being a cartoonist, where he's started Tighten Up Comics. And if that doesn't give you any indication, he's also from Nashville, born and raised, and made his way out to LA. And I've had the pleasure of watching his incredible journey. But I also wanted you all to be able to join in today's conversation for your royal freshness, Mr. Demetre Durham. Yo, what's up, brother?
What an intro. Thank you. I appreciate it.
How you feeling?
Amazing. Thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
Absolutely. One thing I just saw, actually a couple of things I just saw, but I hit on one first, is you are one half, I believe, of the Good Food Gurus.
Yes.
A foodie, a self-proclaimed foodie.
Absolutely.
Talk to me about the inspiration behind that.
Yeah, so I've always been a foodie. I've always loved food. I think in 2020, we got stuck in the house for a long time.
For sure.
And, I've always loved to cook too, but once things started opening back up, I wanted to get out there and start trying foods and these mom and pop stores and shops that people don't really know about that are hidden gems. Mm-hmm. So I was like, I took some pictures, like I always do, and then they started reposting me, and I'm like, you know what, maybe this might be a thing. So, finding mom and pop shops in different cities and hosting them, and then coming from the Black experience too, because that's a whole other thing. So now it's like taking off. People, they are reaching out to me now to come and eat and do content. It's a lot of it is paid, some of it is not, but it's free food, and which is fine.
Pay me in food any day.
Yeah. And then we started a charity as well with the page, and we do a holiday charity every year to give back to the homeless. So this will be year 5. So,
oh wow. That time has flown by really quick.
Yes.
And you just mentioned, obviously you're building multiple brands. And of course, as I mentioned, I've had an opportunity to watch your journey from Nashville and New York to LA. You've been all over the place. But I think from the food perspective, you also mentioned the Black experience. Why don't you share a little bit more about that? Yeah.
So, and I'm sure you get it too. When you moved here, it's kind of like a culture shock, with food. And and I've lived in New York and then lived in Tennessee. That was a whole other thing too. So Tennessee has a lot of Southern food, that comfort food that a lot of us are used to. And I tell this all the time. When I first got here, I was looking for a chicken biscuit just at a fast food restaurant. Nobody had one except Chick-fil-A.
Facts.
So but in Nashville, you could find a chicken biscuit in the morning, at McDonald's or Burger King. It was we never heard of that. So just the food is just so different out here. It's just a cultural difference. So I wanted to make sure that I am giving an authentic spin on finding food that comforts us as black people. So
yeah. And speaking about that comfortability, I know you've had to take some chances, take some risks. Even on the journey coming to LA, that's a very uncomfortable thing. I tell people all the time, that was one of the biggest jumps I made, and I made it twice for some reason. I don't know what I was thinking, but for some reason I decided to come back. But kind of walk me through what that journey has been like for you.
Yeah, so a lot of people don't know, but half of the reason, I was already thinking about like just moving out
Yep.
of Nashville, just because I felt like I hit a wall, like creatively.
Yep.
Loved it. People are great, but it's like it's only so much you can do there, you know. So, and by then I was like dancing, and I was like, I need to do something with my art, and I was just like, it was like very stagnant.
Right.
And I realized people were doing the same thing every week, like, you know, work, go to the club.
Facts.
One of like 3 clubs, you know what I mean? So I was just like,
Limelight.
yeah, exactly. Limelight, The Weekend. I was gonna say it, but
yeah.
So then, you know, I was moving so fast, I got sick. I got like pneumonia, which I've had pneumonia twice. Like I had it as a baby and whatever, but I had it as an adult in college, and I was dancing, and I didn't realize I had it, so I kept going. So I went to like the doctor, and they were like, "Yeah, you have bronchitis," and it wasn't.
Yeah.
So I think I ended up having it for like 3 weeks before I finally like got broke down and had to go to the hospital. You know,
That's
so
crazy.
I was in there, and I was just kind of laid up, like, yo, like this is. I could like die in here, and I didn't get to do anything I wanted to do. So after that, I was like, I'm gonna work. You know, I was working at Postmates. I was kind of doing social media for them.
Yep.
Behind the scenes. They had just moved to Nashville, so I worked there for like 2 more months, and I was like, I'm shipping my car, and I'm going to LA and gonna see what happens. So, but you know, the first year was kind of rough. Car broke down. My little Honda didn't make it that I had.
Yeah.
I had a little Honda that I drove through, you know, high school and college, and that didn't make it. And you know, it was just like things were different. Things were expensive. I didn't know anybody.
Yep.
But yeah, I mean, there was no second option. I was like, I'm not going home.
Yep.
You know, I'm gonna have to make it work, because you know they said if you make it in New York, I can do that. But I was like, I want to be here. So yeah, I made it work, and I think I'm going on. It's been going on 8 years now.
Because you got here at 17, right?
So it was like the end of 17, but I went back home for like holidays
Gotcha.
and came back, and I think I was here for the 8th. So I don't really count
17.
17. You know what I mean? So 18, yeah, 17, 18, something like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
And it's such a crazy journey, because I know when you came out here, it was all dance.
yeah.
And you've done like so many things since then, talking about what you're building and then the acting piece. Can you like share a little bit about like the inspiration behind, at least specifically the acting? Because I know you had a role on Insecure.
Yeah.
And talk to me about what happened after that for you.
Yeah, so I moved out here for dance and animation, because I was like, oh, like Disney's out here,
Yep.
Cartoon Network, everything. And it's funny how like your mindset about doing something is so different when you first. Like when I first got out here, it was totally different, and I thought I knew exactly what I wanted. But dance is great, and I still do that. But I'm not going to like these big cattle call auditions anymore. I'm doing more like direct books. So like now that I've been out here for so long, people know me. They'll be like, "Oh yeah, we want you. Just come." You know what I mean?
Right.
Versus like me going to an audition for hours, and they knew they didn't want me because I'm short or I'm tall. You know what I mean? Typecasting. Acting, I think I started with like a short film that it was about dancers.
Yep.
So it was called Dancers for Sale, which is on Amazon right now, but Amazon Prime. But it was my first like role, and I was added in last minute, so it's kind of like I took somebody else didn't work out or something like that, so I took their space. And it was only a few you know lines, but I had to dance, and I was like, I can do that. So you know, acting, that's what kind of, and I was like, I like this. This is like, this is not bad. Like, you know, like you get to be somebody else for like a moment and like kind of like work with these other creative. It was like one of the best experiences. So after that, I started looking at classes, because you can't really call yourself a professional. And so
Right.
you start like, you know, doing the work and then getting paid for it. So took some classes, and started like auditioning for other things, and I got a commercial agent. The commercial agency found me. They found me actually, which was
Wow.
pretty cool. And that happened in 2020, I think, which is weird because we weren't doing much. We were just in the house, you know what I mean? So after commercials started happening, I was like, oh, this is where the money is. Okay, dance is great, but it's like you don't really feel appreciated when you're doing that type of work. Unfortunately, I love it, but it's like you're on stage like backing up like an artist that's like that doesn't even know you probably, you know what I mean? Or then like, or if you know you're on stage wearing a costume or a mask, and people can't tell that's you. It's just you know, the money don't be adding up. It don't be, you know. So it's like you know. So right now I've been assisting. I help teach dance twice a week now, and I've been doing that for about 5 years. And then that's also me training, you know. But no, as far as acting, now I jumped into short films.
Yep.
So I just finished one like last fall, and then I'm working on another one like now. So yeah, acting is a big part of my life now.
What's been the most fun project you've worked on thus far?
There was one called the Fruit Loop that we did.
I saw that.
Yeah, that was the one that we did. That was like super professional. The guy who produced it has 4 Emmys already, so it was like, can we win? Can I get one of those?
Yeah.
Or, so, but no, it was just like very professional. It was very, I don't know, it was just a fun experience to be on. So I was like, if it's anything like this, being on set. Now that's just acting. Now commercial wise, I think Taco Bell was my favorite. That was my favorite commercial.
Bro, Taco Bell?
Yeah, that's on now actually. So
interesting.
Hopefully, if you see that.
No, it's funny. The reason I say that is not because you said Taco Bell. Is I was having a conversation about Taco Bell last night.
Really?
Because they have now the Taco Bell Cantina.
Oh yeah.
And there's one downtown. There's one I want to say somewhere else on the PCH. There's a lot of funny things.
I went to that
happening
opening too downtown.
How was that?
It was it was nice. I was gonna go down there and be like, I was in the commercial, like, but it was like they don't know.
Hey, let me
right.
in. I was in the commercial.
It was nice though. It's just, I don't eat a lot of fast food as much anymore, but like sometimes you got to get you a little,
little chalupa
or something like that. Right? Yeah, right. Chalupa. And see, my commercial was for the quesalupas, so that's like chalupas with like cheese on the outside of it. So it's a whole thing. But great experience. It was, they treat you like royalty on set. The difference
your royal freshness. They gotta treat you like royalty.
Yeah, exactly. But with that experience, being like black in these spaces is like, they don't know how to do your hair, and like, they don't know what to do sometimes. So, but no, it's coming from the dance world, like being treated totally different. You know what I mean? So, yeah.
Let's take a step back really quick because I know you just got your billboard.
Oh yeah.
How did you feel when you stepped out of your car and you saw that?
So I was actually working. I was helping with an event, and I was just there, and I was like, all right, I got a call. And my phone kept blowing up, and it was a friend, and I was like, I voicemailed with her. I was like, hey, I'm gonna call you back because I'm busy. Right. She's like, no, wait, before you go, like, you got a billboard. I'm like, what? And she sent me a picture. I didn't even know it was up.
That's crazy.
And she sent me a picture. I'm like, what? Where? So I'm like, y'all step to the side now. I got time. So I'm like, what? So I'm like,
I got time today, cuz.
Yeah, I said, send me the cross streets.
Yeah.
So I can, so, and they were taking photos, and I was like, this is crazy. So I did a photo shoot with them, like a campaign, like a few months before.
Yeah.
And I know that they were going to use it for like, promo and stuff like that. And I didn't know it was going to be on the billboard. So I was super excited about that. And then, which leads me to the next thing that I ended up getting one in Times Square. So I haven't posted that one yet. So I haven't, like, this is the first time I said that. But it's for the short films.
Exclusive, right?
Premiere. But no, so I went out there like last week and I saw it. So I'll be posting that probably in maybe a couple weeks. I'm gonna let this one ride out a little longer.
You can't cannibalize the first billboard.
Yeah.
You just gotta let the people know.
I'm still in awe, honestly. It's like my face by myself, like it's just me. So
what's the most like in awe about it that you feel? Like, why so much in awe?
I just didn't expect that. Not that I didn't expect it. I just wasn't. No, I think it is. I think I didn't expect that. Not that I couldn't do it, but I was just like, just thinking, coming from like when I first had a dream to move out here, I was like, I never thought I'd be on a billboard out here. You know what I'm saying? And it's just like, it's not hard. It's not easy. Being out here, and it's not easy being in a space of a creative space and doing it full time and trying to be seen and then staying authentic, and then it's just a lot that comes with it. So seeing myself up there was kind of like, wow, So,
and the reality is, and we talk about this a lot, is that you've been in this space for quite some time. You've done a lot of things that people would just simply be afraid to do. You've taken risks, you've jumped, and you've done things that people will see and admire you for, but they also don't know all the effort that you put into making it happen, and they don't understand there's business that goes into being a creator. Why don't you talk a little bit about that, just so people can fully understand the breadth of what you do?
Sure. So I would just start first, not even before the business. Like, you got to just be disciplined. Like, you got to just know, like, it was one point where like you said, when I got out here, I was dancing, training. I joined this like training program. It was like 4 hours a day. But it was in the middle of the day, which means when I was working, it was hard for me to work. because it was like bleed into the hours. So at one point I was running low on money, and I was like, yo, I can't come here 3 to 4 times a week. I have to like work. And they were just like, if you want to dance, you sleep on somebody's couch. And I was like, what? I'm not doing that. So but at first I was like, maybe I'm not trying hard enough. Maybe I don't want it hard enough. So I kept going for a little while, but I was like, yo, I can't be homeless out here. I've never been homeless, thank goodness, but I can't do that. So I took I kept saying that to them. They're like, well, you can freeze your account. You paid monthly for it. You can freeze your account and you can just come back next month. So I worked like a lot for that month, and then I went back and like the same thing started happening again. I was just like, yo, I can't do this and work, and it was a lot. So I ended up leaving. It just wasn't for me by that time. I was seeing like what they were about. They weren't really giving me like what I needed as far as like dancing, but like how am I going to survive out here? Like, you want me to sleep on somebody's couch? Like, that's crazy. So I ended up leaving. But I'll say with that, you just have to know when to like step back sometimes, and like not forever all the time. Just step back and like readjust, reevaluate. After that I ended up getting me a apartment, because I was staying in a dancer home at first. A dancer home is like a I don't want to say the word hostel because that sounds very. It's kind of like that though, but it's like
a dancel. It's a dancel.
Yeah,
is what it is.
Yeah. So basically, you go to like people rent out houses, which is a great idea, by the way. A great like thing to do. But rent out a house, and you can rent out the rooms to people. And like dancers, they come from overseas and they train for like a couple months. It's kind of like an Airbnb situation, but for artists. I did that for like 2 months. I was like, this is not like I can't stand here. You know what I mean? It's like a temporary thing. So I was able to get me an apartment, like a little studio, because everything was expensive coming from, Nashville, and like the prices, you know what I'm saying?
Now Nashville is there.
Oh yeah.
Nashville is right with us.
Absolutely. It's just, I think, to answer your question, I think the discipline, and then also like having to work, and then, but I think for what I tell people too, because people do ask me that, like, how do I just like make that jump? And what I did, I was already doing these things as I was working. So it was long days, I would work a 9 to 5, then I would come home and go to dance class, or I would come home and like work on some artwork and like send out emails and work on my craft, versus like coming home, crashing, doing it again, and whatever. So I did it so much, I built up my art and like my creative work, that when I was ready to quit my job, I had enough to like just turn it up and just like go full time, you know what I mean? So but I had to quit because I missed the Spice Girls reunion tour audition. Spice Girls are iconic. And when I heard they were coming back,
they are.
When I heard they were coming back, I want to dance for them, and I couldn't go. And I remember my job was like, you don't have enough like what points to take off or something like that. Yeah. And I was just like, what? And I was scared. I was scared to take off, and I didn't. I didn't take off, and I regret that like till now, because what if I would have made it? Like, I never know. So after that, I was like, you know what? I didn't move out here to like work a 9 to 5. I moved out here to like do my creativity. So I worked another month, like crazy, and then I quit, and I never went back.
That's crazy.
But now I never know if I was going to be dancing with the Spice Girls.
Hey, we're going to speak it into existence right now.
Yeah.
Spice Girls coming back. Your boy is ready for you.
I'm ready.
Make it happen.
Spice up your life. I'm ready.
So let's actually pivot here a little bit, because obviously being a creator, one of the things, again, I think people probably don't understand is how much of you actually being an entrepreneur. You're running a full business, and I see you're everywhere. Mm-hmm. Meta has you places. You're doing stuff on Instagram here, and then you got stuff happening on Facebook. Like, you're all over the place. Kind of walk me through what that journey in itself has been like for you, going from where you started to where you are right now.
So I think social media has been a really big part. It's played a really big part in like my career, just because you want people to see you, right? The goal is to get your art out there and to get people just to like know like what you're doing and to kind of like follow along with you. I joined a meta program for the Latinx creators called Dali 2. And that was a paid program. Yep. So right there, they paid me just to do what I was already doing. You know what I'm saying? On top of like the little Instagram bonuses that you get. Mm-hmm. So that period was just me to grind. Like, okay, let me just do everything I need to do now while I'm having this like income coming in, consistent income. Yep. Because, being an entrepreneur, you don't have a consistent income. For sure. It's just, and that
you got to make it work.
You got to make it work. So that makes you, you might get a check that can last you for like 6 months. But now you got to like that's a lot of money. So you got to like make sure that you are, paying for what you need to pay for. So it teaches you that too. It just teaches you how to do those things. But yeah, then I learned, okay, let me not just it's a full-time job, so let me not just stick to Instagram. Let me make sure I'm on Facebook, and that's a whole different crowd. That's like people, for me, it's people that are from back home, and like your aunties and uncles. It's like older people.
My mom.
Yeah,
like,
all the older people.
Stop.
Yeah, on Facebook, right?
Yeah.
TikTok has like a younger generation. That's like a whole different. So it's like you want to kind of be in these spaces and kind of like adjust your content for those platforms.
Yep.
But I never want to say like I'm not doing that. That's not because why? Like there's like people there that's like a whole different audience that you're missing out on. You know what I'm saying? So once you figure out how to tie those things together and like one day I'm posting this video, but I'm posting it on like 5 different platforms. So let me get ready. Put my pants up.
Boy.
All right, let me have my little snack and let's do it. You know what I'm saying? So it's a job.
It is.
It's a job, but it definitely pays off because people just see you from everywhere. So
and I think people confuse it that you're just posting content. No, there's a lot of detail that goes into actually doing the work, especially the kind of content you post.
Yeah.
Because you're telling full stories, and the graphics of the stories that you're telling are just like out of this world. And speaking of which, let's talk a little bit about Tighten Up Comics.
Oh yeah.
Because you are doing your thing. I saw in another interview you spoke a little bit about it. You said the reason why you did Tighten Up is because you didn't see cartoons that look like you, so you decided to create them.
Absolutely. So
tell me a little bit more about that.
Yeah, so growing up, even now, Marvel fan, DC fan, Power Rangers, that was my thing when I was little. So
who was your favorite? Jason, Tommy, Billy, Adam, who you got?
It was Tommy, but before him, he didn't come till later.
He
I loved
did.
the Yellow Ranger. My favorite color was yellow growing up. However, it was like, we played, I didn't want to be the girl. So I was like, okay, well, let me find somebody else. I love the Black Ranger too, because he was, by default.
He was the Black Ranger.
He was the Black Ranger.
The Black Ranger, like, black dude. Come on now.
But, I'm just like, he's black and I relate to him, but my favorite color is this. So it's just like, that's what I'm saying. It wasn't enough.
Right.
Like, why can't we have 2 or 3 black people that we could shoot that are different?
Wait, who was Kimberly? What was the Yellow Ranger?
So it was Trini, the Asian one first.
Yeah,
but then they changed to Aisha because Trini actually passed away. But
I didn't know that.
It was her, Jason, and Zach, the Black Ranger. They ended up leaving the show because of like pay discrepancies.
Got you.
So they replaced them. They try to like well, we gonna show you, and they showed them. They showed them for real. they
Sometimes you gotta pop out and show them.
Yeah, they did. So they ended up leaving. They replaced them with like Aisha, Adam, and Rocky, who did the movie.
Yep.
Iconic movie.
It was a dope movie.
It was, but I don't know. I just wanted, even with that, like I just like there's one black person. All the time, and you may not necessarily relate with them just because they're black. I don't do any of that. I'm black, but so Marvel has like one person maybe on the team. It's just like it wasn't enough. So I was like, I started drawing and making me and my friends like the center of attention with these superheroes. So this cartoon I made up like in the 3rd grade. Literally, I used to draw comic books.
Crazy.
And my mother found some comic books that she had when they moved, and she sent it to me. But I used to take notebooks and just like draw in them, and people would read them in school. Like I would get in trouble by the teacher because people are reading my books instead of the textbooks. So they would call home and confiscate them and talk to my parent like he's disturbing the class. You know what I mean? But people love the stories.
It's like you actually getting them to do what the teacher trying to do. You wanted them to read. They're reading.
Which brings me to my next part. My mother worked out something where they let me put my books, my stories on the bookshelf for reading time. So, but what I didn't know, which I didn't agree to, if I had spelling errors, the teacher would allow them to like cross out my words and stuff like that. And I was like, don't touch my comic books.
That's crazy.
You let me know and I'll change it, but don't edit my comic books. You know what I'm saying? Like, who does that? But I do appreciate like my mother was able to do that, and people wanted to read my stuff.
Yeah.
So they took them home, and some people never brought them back. But other than that, it was a good experience for sure.
That's wild. And I mean, to bring something into fruition like that, why don't you talk a little bit about the work that actually goes into making it possible? Because we know it's a task, but you're obviously doing the work. I mean, you're literally building multiple brands. Talk a little bit about the work that goes into all of that and making it happen.
To brand building period, or to Tighten Up?
Actually, to both.
Okay.
I want you to speak to both.
Tighten Up is like, that's literally like my childhood dream that I'm going to see come into fruition. So I've been, I have my little chain now, my little symbol right here. That's like my thing. Like everything, I feel like you're always branded. You're like a walking brand. You know what I'm saying? So if anybody's gonna wear it, it should be you or be rocking it. You know, some wallpaper. But I think to me, branding is really big for me. Just because, like I said, you want people to see you. I mean, you're your own walking billboard. So I make sure that my stuff is professional looking all the time. I email down to my email signatures. Like when I email people, they're like, you know, is this Demetre's assistant? I'm like, yeah, sure.
Yes.
It's just me. You know what I'm saying? But it's just like, you know, but it looks professional, and I want to make sure that I'm following up with people, and I use the Google Calendar because I always want to be on time for things and not missing. When I first got here, I was double booking, like dance rehearsal for this, but I'm also going to this, and I'm like, oh, I can't do it. And, you know, that looks bad.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? So calendar invite, the Google Calendar saved my life. So I use that for everything. And that helps just to stay organized and to just kind of be like a man of your word. Like if you're going to be there, if you're going to do something, you committed to something, to just do it.
Because that's also part of your brand.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So and then, you know, if I'm doing it, it's going to be great also. So it's like I don't want nobody to catch me slipping. I don't be it could bite me sometimes because I'm so like it has to be perfect. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes when posting, that can like stagnate some people. Like, oh, I can't do this. That's not right. And then, you know, they look up and it's been 2 months that you haven't posted this one video. So I'm just really, really hard, not hard on myself, but I hold myself like to a high standard. So if I do something, I give myself a couple days to rest, and then also, okay, let's get it out there. Let's get it done. You can't, you know, you've been sitting around for a couple days. You know what I'm saying? So I'm just like that. I think with that mentality, it helps you with everything that you do. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah. What do you appreciate the most about content creation and everything that you're doing?
My time.
Why your
time is something that, and that's when I like I told you I was sick in college. I was in the hospital for like 2 months, just lay there, and everything just passed me by. I had a dance. You know, we used to do impact shows, right? The dance shows.
Yep.
And I couldn't do it. Like, and it's funny because I'm glad that you were there because you can kind of know what
exactly
I'm talking about. But like, we rehearsed for this huge show for every semester, and then for that I started getting like, you know, I was getting tired because I had like a pneumonia, so I couldn't really breathe that well. So I was getting pushed back, like to the back of my spots were getting taken. I was like, this is crazy, you know. So what I do, I go back. I said, I need to work out. Like I'm out of shape, and I'm going there, I'm running, and I'm just like making it worse. You know what I'm saying? So, but what I'm saying is that I was in there laid up, and everybody, the show still went on. People came to visit, yes, but it's like people still going to class, life still happened.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? So it's just like my time, that time I can't get back. You know what I'm saying? So now that's very important to me, which it should be, but it's like now that I had something like that happen, it's like really, you know, eye-opening. So I think this allows me to do things more so on my terms, kind of. Now, mind you, I do have like deadlines and stuff like that, but I can set my own schedule.
For sure.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like, you know, or we can work something out to a scale. I don't have a 9 to 5 I need to clock into, or people to tell me like how much I can make. I think people telling you how much you can make is crazy, which I never thought about that till, you know, because they raised us in school. Like, this is, you know, you want to get a high salary, you want to get this wage, and it's like, but only this much, you know. But it's just, that's crazy that somebody can like max out how much you can make.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
So when I thought, I'm like, you know what? Why do I have to make $100K a year? Why can't I make this much? You know what I mean? So I can set my own prices, and if somebody doesn't like it, then, you know, we can negotiate, or we can just go the next route.
And
so
yesterday's price ain't today's price.
Absolutely not, because I never go backwards.
Yep.
You know, like I after I've done a Taco Bell commercial, Apple, like I'm not doing what I used to do. You know what I mean? Like I remember my first gig. I think I did my first social media thing where I think I charged like $600, and I was like, oh, is that too much? Oh my God, I don't know. I sent it. I put send, like, I don't know what's gonna happen, and that was like a low ball. But I was like, to me, I was like, whoa, $600 for just a post? That's crazy.
Right.
And now I'm like, $600 is crazy. You know what I'm saying?
Perspective.
But, yeah.
Perspective.
But yeah, I think to answer your question, my time and my freedom to do and to have my self-care, because I feel like a lot of us as Black people don't do that like we should. We don't take the time to sit back and like rest and to rejuvenate. But that's a whole other story, because that comes, you know, we've always had to be better. You know what I'm saying? So we always had to do more to get like the same amount or less.
Right.
You know what I mean? So that's a whole other conversation, but I'm here for that too. So, but yeah, time.
For sure.
Yeah.
If you could take a step back, look at the broad picture of what you've been able to accomplish in the last 7 years, what would you say you're the most proud of?
I'm the most proud of being here still, because some people didn't make it. They had to go. A couple of years they had to go back home, but then they didn't come back. They're like, I'm coming back, but some people actually came back, which is
Mm-hmm.
So
Yep.
right, some people didn't make it. So when they said they're going home, I'm like, ooh, you're going home, so you're not.
You ain't coming back.
So I'm proud of that, and I'm just proud of the life that I've made for myself. Sometimes it's hard for me to sit back and realize the things that I've done or accomplished, because I'm always looking for like the next best thing. Like I said, it's that thing of being great. It's like I need to be better. Like, yeah, I got a billboard, but what's next?
Right.
But that's crazy to say.
Yep.
That's crazy.
Yep.
I'm just like, no, like sit in that. Like you have that. That's crazy. It's still up. But I think just the life that I've built for myself in like LA, like I've never thought that I would do that. So very proud of myself for that.
For sure.
Yeah.
What else are you like really excited about that you're working on?
I'm excited about this journey that I'm going into another avenue again for like producing. So I love to be like bossy and tell people things. So it's like, why do I get paid for that? You know what I'm saying? So
paying me to tell you what to do?
Yeah. Oh, okay. and also just like, but not only that, like I'm good at like I do this for like content creation. I do it for myself.
Yep.
So it's like, why not do it for? I never thought about that. I never like went into a producing role thinking like, oh, like I know exactly what I'm doing. Now I never did it on such a like big platform,
Yep.
like as far as like a whole production. That's a lot of moving parts, but I curate my stuff all the time, and then I've helped people do their things too. So I'm like, I can do this. So doing that, I'm very excited about. I already have like a lot of credits that I didn't even realize. You look at your IMDb, you're like, whoa, I forgot about that.
When did I do that?
Whoa, like when did I do that? Because I didn't know people were giving IMDb credits at first when I first got here. I didn't even know that was a thing. So once I did log on, I saw that they had like a lot of. I didn't have a IMDb profile made, so they couldn't like give me the credits, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
So once I did that, I was like, whoa, I have credits. So now the fact that I qualify for this PGA, that's amazing.
What does that mean to you?
That means that I can do anything.
Yeah.
That means that I can do whatever if I want to try it, sure. And I don't want to, not to be cocky, but I feel like I'm good at everything. I feel like when I do it, I'm like so good at it. But I think it's just because the work that I put into, like, I'm never gonna half-ass anything. I want it to be the best, or my best, because everybody's best is different.
For sure.
So, I just want to be very impressive, and I just want to show people that you can do whatever you want to do. Like, go for it. Why not?
Yeah.
The biggest, not mistake, but the biggest thing that you can do I guess it is a mistake, is to just not do it. Like, just try at least, so you can say that you did.
For sure.
But yeah.
Hey man, you are doing some special things, and we've talked a lot about it just now, but just even watching from the perspective of what I've seen you build, I have to say I admire the work that you do. I'm in constant admiration of you and what you've been able to accomplish. There's a lot of people watching you. So with that being said, if somebody is where you were, let's say 10 years ago, what's one piece of advice you would want to leave them with from your experience?
I would say, I feel like there's so much you can say, but
yeah,
I would say, not to be cliche, but just do it. No Nike, but just do it.
No
like
Nike.
Just like don't like. People self-sabotage a lot, and also they let people their like circle or people around them kind of discourage them from doing things. Oh, that's not. I would never do that. Yeah, right. Because you're fine doing what you're doing. You know what I'm saying? Like, I have people tell me like, "Oh, you're moving to LA, and people out there are fake," and I would never. I'm just like, well, that's for you. You're okay doing this, like,
Facts.
Same mundane thing every week. This little whirlwind. It's kind of like you're in one of those like sitcoms, like, okay, every day wake up, okay, doing the same thing. What are we eating today? Okay, work, all right, and repeat. But where's the pizzazz? Where's the growth? You know what I mean? So I would say, I'm starting to digress. Sorry.
No, you're good. You're good. It's the Aries in you.
It's the Aries, exactly. But no, just do it. Like, don't worry about what other people say. Now, take people's opinions. Like, sure, like, listen, if you trust their opinions and like kind of consider it.
Yeah.
But if it doesn't work for you, it doesn't work for you. But just do it, and don't let anybody tell you can't, because you never know. You might be in that one space where I've been in spaces at the right time and just things have happened. just because I'm here. You know what I'm saying? I'm not there doing that that same circle whirlwind, you know. But also people just need to be able to also move out of your hometown for a little while at least.
Man.
You know, and I'm sorry, I have that conversation with people a lot. Like, just move. Like, it doesn't have to be forever, but just like you need to experience different things and like open your mind up to different foods and cultures and just the way people do things in other places. Because like you'll start to get that small town mindset, and that contributes to you being like, oh, I would never move to LA. Like, oh, people there, you know what I mean? Yeah, because you don't know what it's like. You know what I mean? And
because you're good where you are, but what does that mean if you go somewhere else?
Yeah,
you gotta operate in uncomfortable spaces, because if you try to be in comfort forever, you will never grow.
Exactly. You can't stay comfortable. I think that you're right. You can't. And I think also with that, people in the small town mindset, they haven't seen the other side. They've seen it from TV, but that's not, but they haven't experienced it for themselves. Because once I've brought like some family out here, or friends, they're like, oh, whoa, this is not what I expected. I'm like, yeah, it's like a different vibe, right? You know what I'm saying? So, yes. But to answer your question.
And now they get to see you on TV.
Yeah, absolutely. This is just the beginning.
For sure.
Because I'm trying to be on a lot of different things. And even also, if you don't see it, create it. And I think that's what I want to do. Because sometimes I'm like, oh, I wish I could see this. Well, why am I waiting on people to make it? Just do it yourself.
Hey, I think that's the perfect place to close. Because if you don't see it, create it. Man, it's been a pleasure, my brother.
It has. Thank you for having me.
Always great to connect with you. I say every week on this podcast, remember, we are the Disciplined Man, and this is what real men think. Your royal freshness, ladies and gentlemen.